3 here, Purposeful Warrior, coming to you as a recording this week. I'm away in Melbourne on a training, so I just wanted to hold up my commitment here and still post a video for you to enjoy. And I trust that you will comment as you go through the video with any of the shares, things that come up for you, and then we can continue the chat in the comments. So episode 3 is all about the operating ego and how it prevents you from seeking your potential. So what is the operating ego? Just pausing for a second if anyone wants to have a guess in the comment box before I reveal my definition. Because the operating ego is often, when we are uncertain where our inner critic comes from within, then this is the operating ego. And the operating ego concentrates on contraction rather than expansion. So when I say contraction, what I mean is, for example, a contraction statement the operating ego may come up with is, oh, I can't afford it. I'm not good enough. I can't have that. Wow, that's not something I could ever achieve. I would never be successful in my own business. All of these sorts of things are examples of contraction statements. Whereas, I'll hint, the aware ego, which we'll talk about a bit later on, is expansion. And these expansion statements are things like, how can I not afford it? See the difference? How can I not afford it? So as we look forward even more, the ego is really there to protect us. And it's been made up of a lot of the selves. So we talked last week about the psychology of the selves, and we're often told to do the right thing and you'll be rewarded. And as we go through life in our early childhood years, with family or influences around us, ourselves are either validated or invalidated. And this is a process based of the culture, the environment that we're in, what we're exposed to as children, and when we're going through our development years. So your validated selves, they are the ones that become your personality. And your invalidated selves, they also become your personality, but the personality that you hide from others. And it's interesting, isn't it? I find it interesting. So who's driving the bus? Who do you think's driving the bus? The validated selves? Or the invalidated selves, or should I say the disowned selves? That's right, it's the validated selves. They're driving the bus. So everything that you're doing, the results that you're getting, whatever's showing up in your life, is as a result of the operating ego and the validated selves that you have operating within, turning up as you and your personality. Isn't this fascinating stuff? I love geeking out on this and sharing it with you. So for me, as an example of this, my enterprise self never had any positive role models as I was growing up. So it was never really conversation that I recall or feel influenced by around, you could have a successful business, you could build what you want to do, I was always encouraged to be what I wanted and do what I wanted, but around money and financial wealth, that wasn't really nurtured. What was nurtured for me was and developed into the worker self. So it's like, I remember, you can never do enough for a good firm, or make sure you work hard, always be on time. The security, just have a job, you get regular money, regular income, you can get a pension, that sort of thing when I was in England. All of those things, so they come from our upbringing, our culture. So as a result of that, I developed my worker self and I invalidated my enterprise self or my financial freedom self. Interesting thought, and I wonder, is this the same for you? Do you see this as a pattern that's showing up for you in your life? Because as worker self, I went out and got a job, a job, which really means to me now just over broke. Because as we know, when we're working, we spend what we earn generally. I'm generalizing here, not for everybody, but the majority of people will spend 116%. Actually, a majority of Australians will spend 116% of what they earn. That's right, 116%. So that means in their lifetime, they are dying with a debt in place, because spending 116% is more than they earn. So we're conditioned in life as a worker self to live on debt. We have a mortgage, we have credit cards, we have the car loan. Everything that we want to do and have, we structure and we buy based on debt. And it's a normal way of being. It's how we're conditioned. It's how society wants us to turn up. So I decided that for me, I wanted something different. I wanted to, start a business and not be the worker anymore. I'd wanted to do it for such a long time. And yet, I didn't have the courage. I just kept having job after job, and I was successful in my roles. However, following an accident that I had, I was made redundant. And it was actually the best gift anyone could have given me, because I started my own business. That was back in 2010. And I've never looked back, not once. Yes, it's hard as an entrepreneur and to cultivate my enterprise self, to have the discipline and the focus, the tenacity, to have things in place and to build a business. But it's possible, you can do it. And you're so worthy of doing it. Yes, I'm talking to you. So as a result of me nurturing my previously invalidated self, the enterprise self, or I choose to call it my financial freedom self, then the worker self has been retired. He's still there, still in me, but I have semi-disowned that, or asked him to rest, take a break, because I don't need that anymore. I'm building financial freedom. And as a result of that, I see myself moving from the operating ego to the aware ego. So the aware ego is really the conductor, if you like. If you think of an orchestra, a beautiful symphony playing somewhere, the aware ego is the conductor that makes the music happen, bringing everything together, bringing awareness to a lot of the disowned selves that we recognize we need to move us forward. So the operating ego must learn to relinquish control. And when they relinquish control, then it allows us to see the world through new perspectives. So we can go and we can choose to go on a hero's journey, for example. So hero's journey is a philosophy by Joseph Campbell. And it's a quick summary of the hero's journey is that you find yourself in stuck in the rut in some humdrum job, making ends meet, and all of a sudden you meet someone and there's a crossing of the path, like meeting a mentor, for example, and you're led to make a decision. There's a path, a fork in the road, and you're going to go right or you're going to go left. It's a pivotal decision that you need to make, and one is the comfort, one is the safety, one is the job that just over broke, and perhaps the other journey, the other fork in the road, is the journey to financial freedom. And it may be dark and it may be scary, but is that the road that you want to take? And then you go through the journey, the ups and downs, facing the fire and the challenges and the roadblocks along the way to smash through, to really connect with your enterprise self and have the awareness that you want in life around your finances and wealth. Now, Hal and Sidra Stone, who are the creators of this sort of psychology of cells work that I was talking about last week and this week, and there's a beautiful book, Embracing the Selves, and also The Voice Dialogue. And one question that they asked that sticks with me is, how would life be different if your enterprise self or your financial freedom self, whatever it means to you, had been encouraged to develop instead of being disowned? It's an interesting question, isn't it? So if we had been encouraged to embrace any one of the selves, any one or all of the selves that we've disowned, they're all part of us, they're all a valid part of us, then the message here is, when we nurture and bring back to life these disowned selves, then anything in our life is possible. We become limitless potential. And at that point, I would ask you to think, to reflect. Is this something that you want? Is this something that you want to achieve in your life? Limitless potential. To be able to do anything you want. To be, do, have, give anything that you want. And you may say, sitting here looking at this, thinking, well, that's okay, Fiona, purposeful warrior, but I don't know why I'm here or what I'm meant to be doing. What's my purpose? And this is what we're going to delve in and help you find. Find your pathway to purpose. It's awakening. Let's awaken that purpose and find out what it is for you. Because once you realize that, once you know that, you will start to reconnect with the selves that you have chosen to disown. Well, not chosen to disown, sorry, let me correct that. The cells that weren't validated, they were invalidated when you were, as a child, as a young adult, being nurtured and developed into a young adult. If those cells were not nurtured and validated, then they became disowned. So I'm going to leave it there. And my message really is, the operating ego is what's at play. And the operating ego is really a summary of all of the selves, the parts of you that were validated and make up your personality as you are right now in this moment. And if that reality is not giving you the results that you want in your life right now, then you have a choice. You can choose to change. And those that know me, change. The anagram that I make up for change is the chance to have a new growth experience. And that's what this is about. Recovering your disowned selves, growing more into yourself, developing yourself, and developing your awareness around money, around your financial ability, what it takes to create your enterprise self or your financially freedom self. So I hope this video has served, and I welcome any questions and comments below, and I shall be in there shortly to chat with you. So it's bye-bye from me, and until next time, remember, be your own best friend. Do whatever it takes for you. Bye.